What's going on, everybody? I actually wanted to read this op-ed from the LA Times, and just reading it by itself made me want to create this video. I don't really have a direction for this channel, but anytime I read something as controversial as this, I always want to put this thing to light. So let's read it together. Let's take a look at this article right here. An op-ed. LA's zero bail policy doesn't increase crime, but does reduce the devastating consequences of incarceration. I kind of want to subscribe just to read these articles, man. Sometimes these articles are so dumb, and it's only $1 to lose brain cells. It's not too bad. Not too bad of a deal. Ambrose Brooks, let's see what your opinion is. Let's read this whole article, right? The pandemic pushed LA County to instate a zero bail policy, but our leaders are willfully denying the positive results. Under the policy, individuals accused of low-level offenses are released while they await trial without having to pay bail. Okay. Their zero bail policy has saved lives since March 2020 and coincided with drops in property crime. Anyways, let's take a look here. Law enforcement officials have predictably opposed zero bail as they resist any reform that moves away from mass incarceration. Sure. LAPD Chef Michelle Moore blasted the policy this month after a string of smash and grab thefts from stores. He said that criminal elements have been emboldened because pre-trial jail has become less likely than it used to be. He seemed to lament that 14 people arrested in connection with the 11 incidents had been released from police custody as they await trial. But the releases aren't entirely explained by zero bail order. If any were arrested for serious or violent offenses like robbery, they would not be covered by zero bail and would have had the usual bail set. Moore himself said that suspects were released for various reasons, because they were juveniles, posted bails, or met criteria for zero bail. Learning that distinction helps Moore to make his case against a successful policy. Mayor Garcetti has joined the chief police in this distortion. These are people who need to be behind bars. We have opened up a lot of the city because we're in a better place with COVID. We should be able to also open up our jails, and we should be able to have judges that put people behind those bars as well. Comments like that reveal the political self-interest buildup in the practice of pretrial incarceration and undermine sensible reforms rooted in the collective desire for public safety. Community-based pretrial release does not increase recidivism. Pretrial incarceration does. It exacts a high fiscal as well as human cost, shouldered by all taxpayers and especially by families, or disproportionately from lower income communities and communities of color. People held on pretrial detention, often because they cannot afford bail, are presumed innocent because they have not been convicted of a crime. They may lose a job or home or custody of a child, and some may even be pressured into pleading guilty just to get a plea deal that reduces. What is this? What is this whole paragraph trying to say? Is this like a blanket statement for all the people that are in, what do they call that? Pretrial incarceration? What the hell is this word? Recidivism. In March 2020, as COVID-19 spread in crowded jails and prisons around the country, LA County and court officials took necessary steps to reduce the jail population. It was a good idea then, and it still is. Yet now, Moore and Garcetti seem intent on scoring political points. LAPD has taken the 14 arrests from the smash and grab thefts as an opportunity to advance an unrelated agenda focused on promoting pretrial incarceration. A month after the zero bail order went into the effect, Moore publicly challenged the policy. He pointed out that people who had been released from custody made up 5% of recent arrestees, but a 4%, a statistically insignificant difference. He did not take into the account at that time Overall arrests were down 37%, meaning that under the zero bail order, fewer people were rearrested than had been those before the zero bail order. That minor increase in proportion of arrests hardly justifies ending a life-saving policy. Such distortions are the standard playbook for sustaining mass incarceration and inflating police budgets. Law enforcement has also relentlessly vilified Proposition 47, which reclassifies certain felony offenses as misdemeanors. Critics blame the 2014 state ballot initiative for increased crime and continue to call for its repeal. But in fact, Proposition 47 reduced recidivism rates, tendency for reoffending, okay? California saw no increase in violent crime and only small and brief upticks in property crimes after this passage, according to this, okay? Similarly, in New York, law enforcement leaders blamed bail reform for a rise in shootings, even though police data revealed that the two were unrelated. When asked about the smash and grabs, whether thefts had increased overall, more pointed to an increase in car thefts, but otherwise avoided the question. Robberies in LA are down substantially from 2019, as are burglary and property crimes overall. Researchers who have tracked bail reform policies have found the zero bail policy does not contribute to an increase in crime. In fact, there is ample evidence that pretrial incarceration increases the chances that a person will be charged with a new offense because of the harmful consequences of incarceration, including loss of employment, separation from families, and isolating individuals from their community. Reducing pretrial detention is a worthwhile reform in any era, not only because of the pandemic, and zero bail policy should be continued. Alright, so I think that took way too long, but I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Here's my opinion on this. Alright, so when you think about what's been going on, there have been a lot of increases in crimes. Okay, smash and grab theft. Don't look at these percentages because percentages can always be inflated. Look at the COVID numbers, right? That's inflated, right? Here's the thing. Smash and grabs in California are being almost encouraged because they have a limit for petty theft of up to $950. My girlfriend works at a retail store. She says the same lady comes in here, not to her location, but to other locations of this retail store, and has accumulated within the last 9 to 10 visits about $9,000 worth of merchandise. And they cannot do anything about it. All right? This isn't about police reform and recidivism and lowering the percentages of zero bail. You have to understand, when day-to-day life helps thieves and robbers accept the idea of, I'm gonna do this and I know I'm not gonna get any flack for it, don't you think that incentivizes them to do even more? And all this pre-trial incarceration and the fact that this person does not want to do it, how about we bring these criminals to your location and have them do what they've been doing best, which is doing smash and grabs at your local mom and pop, or maybe at your local Trader Joe's or Vons, so that you can understand what it's like when your city starts going to shit while you're out here writing for LA Times, saying that it's not going to shit. You cannot just say something statistically is okay when you walk around in your own city and you see that it's actually going to shit. I've been in LA for 15 years and I've never seen it this bad. I've never seen LA be so bad that you cannot even walk around when it's past 8 p.m. The amount of homeless people I see in my own city is so alarming that if I'm out by myself at night, I have to get out of my car immediately because who knows if I'm going to be followed home. You have to look over your shoulder no matter where you're going. You cannot even wear earphones if you pass by somebody, you got to make sure you're on high alert, because literally anyone could be a target. So don't tell me that this zero bail policy does not affect us, because it will affect you sooner than later, and you will not even realize that it'll be your time. When a thief wants your shit, he's gonna take your shit. Okay, so don't come at the rest of these LA natives like myself acting like you're high and mighty, saying that Garcetti and the LAPD chief don't know what they're talking about based on your statistics, because clearly they know more than you in terms of the results and what's happening with zero bail. So that's all I gotta say, man. I don't want to come at this person all angry, but all I'm saying is this city is becoming less safe in the day, and you can't just say, oh yeah, well, because of COVID, you know, we gotta reform for all these incarceration people, and they're gonna lose their jobs because, you know, like, they had to do it, and they're gonna lose their job because they went to jail for, you know, like, minor misdemeanors. Like, no, if you do a crime, you're willingly doing that crime. I could have done all these crimes during the pandemic, and I chose not to. A lot of people don't realize that accountability is very important. Okay, so don't come at me with that bullshit. All right. If you like this type of content, like, comment, share. You can't dislike anymore anyways, so suck it on behalf of YouTube. Peace out.